Hey everybody, Shawn Battle here with the Leighton. Today we're going to talk to you about our predictions for the real estate market for 2019. I hope we're right. I think we're pretty on.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So first we're going to start with the 2018 season. How did the 2018 real estate market pan out? So you want to give some insight on that?
2018 was very solid. We saw a really good spring market, and I don't know about you, but my spring market started in February. It almost started in January. It was one of those things where as soon as the calendar changed to 2018, more and more people were getting ahead of that spring market because they knew that they would have multiple offers on their house. Buyers were consistently seeing properties that had a lot of competition, that had multiple offers. They were waiving contingencies. That lasted into the summer. I did see a slowdown in the summer of 2018. I saw a solid early fall market of 2018. Now we're talking just a couple months ago. And then, maybe a little bit of lull a few weeks ago. And then with Amazon, obviously, that's completely changed everything. So overall, I thought it was a pretty solid 2018 market that was growing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think spring market was probably our best ever. I mean, I've been doing this 15 years. I think that was, for the first 6 months, it was my best 6 months ever. But then we hit around...
What happened in month 7?
Yeah, month 7, month 8 for me, and it hit a wall. I felt like all of a sudden the market pulled back. Things weren't selling as quickly. And I guess it really depends on what niche you're in, or what area you were selling in, because different areas and different people that I talked to had different outcomes. But I think in the market as a whole, talking to people, they felt that pullback too. So I was thinking, maybe this is pulling back. Maybe the predictions are right, because what we were seeing for a long time, or what we were hearing from different people, was the trend. We have seen 8 years of trending
it's been solid.
Upward.
It's been very good.
So how long does that last? How long is that going to keep going? And so they're thinking, all right, it's going to start pulling back. So I felt like it was going to start pulling back, but then the whole Amazon thing hit, and it changed my mind. So
yeah, I think once it hits fall, it's going to slow down a little bit. But with the Amazon news, that kept it going. The market has now showed increased activity because of Amazon. So it's going to be interesting. We're thinking, what should we make a video about? Well, now is the perfect time, November, as we're getting into the holidays, it's a forecast. What is 2019 going to look like? Is it going to be something where buyers are just going to be completely, blown away? They're going to have to come in all cash. It's going to be something where sellers can put any sort of home on the market and get multiple offers. That's the question that we're going to try to answer in this video.
So here's what I think. If you look, locally, real estate is always seasonal. And if you look at a graph, it's always going to look like something like this. You have your peaks and valleys, and your peaks and valleys go on the seasons. You're always going to have higher sales in spring, and then as you get into fall and winter, they're going to be lower. So, but the trend has been that the line is going like this. So days on market are going down, and on the other side, the prices are going up. So I think that it's starting to regulate itself. Honestly, that's the way I feel, and I think it's a good thing. You have to look at, the good thing is locally, we are in kind of an insulated area. And I'm going to take this from one of our leaders, Nick Pasquini gave me this analogy the other day. If you think about the DC market as a target, right? And so we're right at the center of that target. And all of the other cities, the smaller cities without the infrastructure and the market that we have, are on the outside of that target. So we can kind of watch those outer cities to see what is happening there, and it'll kind of follow its way inside that target. But we are the center of the target. We are insulated by the government, so we're always going to see, a pretty good market. We're spoiled here. But what we were starting to see was that the market was starting to slow in some of those other areas.
Yeah, and I think that the DC market is always going to have the government, right? It's always going to be a target, like you were saying, where people are always going to want to live here. So what we're starting to see is sort of a slowdown, and it's not just a feeling that I have, like I feel like I'm slow. It's actual statistics. I mean, just looking at October closings, so we're talking last month, of this year, so October 2018, in Arlington County, 229 properties closed, so 230 closed. But a year ago, we saw 260 close. So that's a drop off of 30 properties. In September, we saw 221 properties close, and then last year we saw 241. So again, another drop off. So we're starting to see this little tail off effect, but I think that's gonna stop because what we mentioned earlier was it was starting to trend almost like a plateau, and then Amazon came, and now we're getting a little bit of, call it almost an artificial bump in sales activity in the winter market, and I think that'll cross over into the new year and then propel that into the spring market.
No, I think you're exactly right. So what we were going to probably go into if the Amazon thing wasn't announced was kind of that regulating market where it's going to go like this. It's going to regulate itself. It's not going to go straight up in the air. So we started to see that. I think that was what maybe that slowdown in, say, call it August was.
Late
but
August,
you've got to think seasonally this always happens. So we always go through the peaks and valleys. So I was expecting the December market to be slow, but honestly, I'm seeing it starting to pick up. So, if you're fearful of listing in the winter months, I wouldn't think that anymore.
Let's talk if you're a seller in 2019. I mean, we still have, a month and a half. So if you're a seller right now and you're gauging, all right, when am I going to list? What's going to happen when I list? What would happen if you list now? What's going to happen if you list in the spring market, summer? Where do you see that prediction?
Right now, it's, I think, better than last year. Listing in December is always a little bit slower, but the markets pick up. Like your example last year, you had a listing, you put it on what, before the New Year?
A week before Christmas.
A week before Christmas.
We closed, a couple days after New Year.
Yeah, so you never know when the buyers are out there for that perfect thing. Yeah. So go on your gut, naturally the best time to list is always going to be the spring, but your situation is going to tell you when to sell.
Yeah.
So if you're maximizing your price this year, naturally wait for spring. It's going to be probably starting early.
Yeah.
I've seen it start as early as late January, but it depends on a lot of different things. The weather, the markets. Right now we're seeing the interest rates rise. We're at 5%, so you think a 1.5% over the last couple of years is big, but historically those interest rates are still good.
Yeah, so if you're a seller, maybe consider listing now, but honestly, don't rush your home on the market. Don't try to just throw it on the market. This is a tricky time in between the holidays, but maybe start that spring market in January or in February as opposed to waiting until the weather changes.
May. Yeah.
How about if you're a buyer? Because I was working with a lot of buyers last year that got discouraged because every property we saw either had an offer on it or we go to submit an offer, there's 4 other offers. How, as a first-time home buyer, where maybe you need seller subsidies or you just can't waive the home inspection, how
this
are you
is the time to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it now. You have to do it from here until January. That's your best time to get in the market. I say it every year. It's the same every year. And it's funny how people start getting scared as soon as they see more days on the market or prices dropping. We see it every year. I started seeing it this year. Now we're starting to see more buyers in the market. I'm actually getting calls from people about some of my listings that are like, hey, is this still under contract? Is this going to fall out? So it's out there. But this is always going to be your best time to buy. If you wait till spring, it's going to get more difficult. You're going to have to, write those stronger contracts. So.
Yeah, all right. So let's talk solid 2019 predictions. I'll start first. I don't think that the market is going to be as strong as 2018. There, I said it. The market's not always going to go up, but I also don't think that the market's going to go down. I think we're going to have more of a leveling off, more of a plateau where maybe last year, 2017, 2016, sellers were setting the market for the homes, for the condos. Oh, well, if that one sold last year at this price, mine's going to increase by that amount. I think you're going to see some of that, but you're going to see more, maybe slightly more days on markets. The good properties are still going to sell very quickly. So if you're a seller, you might be thinking, wow, the market's not the same. I'm not going to get as much money. Not so. I still think that the good properties are going to sell. And then I think if you're a buyer, you still will have the competition, but I think that inventory is going to increase more. I think more sellers are going to be motivated to sell this year because for the past 5 to 5 to 8 years, property values are increasing, sellers are getting that equity, and then with maybe an extra boost of, you know, Amazon or market or whatever, they're going to be more motivated to sell, and I think buyers will have an easier time in 2019.
Yeah, I think you're pretty close.
You disagree completely.
No, I don't. I think that we were seeing that settling down. We were seeing it happen, but I think because of the Amazon bump, we're going to see a slight rise. I think the spring market's going to be awesome this year. And there's a couple things that are going to drive the market. It's going to be interest rates. They're historically really good. It's going to be millennials. What are the millennials going to do? Are they going to rent or are they going to buy? You know, we think they're probably going to rent more, but that's going to start driving the market because there's more millennials that are going to be coming into the market that
Definitely.
are going to push everything. Second thing you want to look at is the stock market right now.
Ooh,
today.
How are your stocks doing?
Yeah, not so good. I think we lost all the value
Yeah.
that we gained this year. So the real estate market sometimes trends on that.
Bitcoin's down.
Bitcoin's definitely down.
Bitcoin's down big. They're under 5,000.
So
I don't know if that impacts anything at all.
I mean, so we've got to look at those factors. The good thing is the economy as a whole is doing really good. The unemployment is low. So, you know, we should see, I think, my prediction, 2019 is going to be good.
Good.
It's going to be still a seller's market. It's not going to be like 2018, but I think we're in for a good 4 years of the real estate market.
So we're in for a good 4 years. Are we in year 1 of that? Are we in year 4 of that? Where on your where on this
Where
are
on
we?
this?
Are we
Jeez,
down
question.
here or are we up there?
So if you think this is the best year, this is 2018, we're going to start trending back this way. But because we have seen such a big increase in prices or whatever, we're going to start trending that way, but it's not going to be a bad market. It's going to be a good market. It's just not going to be as crazy competitive.
So you think it's going to be a solid market, just not as competitive?
Yeah, because I think nationally what was happening or what people were thinking is that it was dropping. But locally, we got it made kind of.
Yeah, our normal market is like, man, Shawn, how's the open house?
30 days?
Yeah, Shawn will get upset when like properties don't sell in the first 5 days. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you're in Iowa, it's like 4 months on the market, and that's a good deal.
That's exactly it. We're spoiled. I mean,
so we want
it to sell in the first week.
Yeah.
That's it. We predict and we try to do everything we can. So anyways, those are our predictions.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
No, I think you nailed it. I mean, it's still going to be a really strong market. Maybe properties won't sell in 24 hours. It might take, God forbid, 5 days. But I'm looking forward to 2019. I think first-time home buyers are going to have a better opportunity, and I still think there's opportunities for sellers to get a lot of money for their property.
Yeah, don't worry about the Amazon effect. I think it's going to take years to do it. One other thing I wanted to add. All right, if you think about the Amazon thing, ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
How many people did they move out of here over the last couple of years?
Thousands.
Thousands. Did it affect our market?
I didn't even know until you just said right now. Yeah.
So thousands of people have moved out of this market in 2 years, and it didn't affect our prices. Actually, our prices went up. So if you think Amazon's going to affect us, it probably will, but it's not going to be that crazy thing. We are insulated here. We have a good, healthy market. So
Cool.
Those are our predictions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.